it kind of looks like a bit of a nothing at the moment, but then your spidey sense gets up a little bit because... So Sam, weekly news video. How are you, mate? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. It's Friday today when we're filming this, so we made it through the first 5-day week in a while. So
yeah, horrific. Yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
Mate, my week was good. So quite a bit of travel this week, particularly down to Christchurch, and those early flights are like ruthless. So I'm a little bit sleepy today, like to be honest. But no, I'm pretty good because we're going to Melbourne tomorrow.
Exciting.
May or may not be Taylor Swift. Yeah, that's all good. So Sam, mate, what do we got this week?
Yeah, so this week we're covering house prices, some of the new bank lending rules, and we've got the latest stats on migration as well.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's exciting, eh? And so we've obviously got the REINZ house price data. Mate, how did we track during January, right?
Yeah, so in January, just under 3,000 properties sold during the month, which was 5% up from January last year.
Yep.
We saw kind of minimal price changes across the board, so not too much to say, and the regional results were a bit mixed as well. Some up, some down, some kind of staying where they are. So,
yeah. It's quite hard to pick where the market's at, right? Because I think December was the first time we'd seen that jitter in the house price index, and then this month kind of moved sideways a little bit, and then the regions were kind of all around the place.
Yeah, I guess generally January's a quieter month, so I guess further into the year we'll see a bit more. Yeah,
so it'll be interesting, but you get that sense that there's this rise of listings as well. Realestate.co's data picked that up as well, right? So yeah, we might well have that big injection of stock coming into the market that the agents have been talking about for a little while. But yeah, we will see. And then mate, we also had the new bank lending rules out for consultation. So Reserve Bank DTIs, debt to incomes. What's the kind of details on that?
Yeah, so basically they're proposing to introduce some debt to income restrictions and ease off on the loan to value restrictions. So basically this limits how much a household can borrow in comparison to their income.
Yep.
So yeah, they're proposing on 20% of the loans that the banks issue that owner occupiers have a DTI of more than 6.
Yep.
And for investors more than 7. Yeah, 7 times.
Oh, obviously in the detail there, right? Like how the investors are higher.
Kind of interesting to see what their thought behind it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we might pull out the detailed docs and have a bit of a squiz at that one. What do you reckon about what will happen? Like what's the vibe in the market around this one?
Yeah, I guess I see a lot of people in the market getting a little bit worried about what this means for them, maybe particularly first home buyers. But I saw an article that actually shows that it's not heaps of right now, not heaps of loans are at that end with the higher DTIs. So I guess it's not as big a concern as for right now. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Like it kind of looks like a bit of a nothing at the moment, but then your spidey sense gets up a little bit because when the triple CFA changes we've put in November 21, at that stage a lot of people, like, it wasn't really flying on the radar. There were a couple of people that were like, oh, it's going to be a problem. And then I remember December stalled the market, and then January, February, March 2022, everyone was like, triple CFA is causing all the problems. So, yeah.
I think we kind of need a wider lens on this to see, and kind of, there's probably something more that'll come up in the future if interest rates fall and things like that. But
yeah. Could well be that when the market changes a little bit more, like particularly like you say, the interest rates, maybe then it will become more of a constraint. But yeah, hard to see what will happen there. Yeah. And then Stats New Zealand migration stats, right? So it looked like it was just a continuation of that super high migration coming through.
Yeah, similar trends. I guess the whole year was kind of quite high net migration, so mainly seeing the loss of New Zealand citizens and the gain in non-New Zealand citizens, and the countries that they're coming from are mainly India and Philippines.
Yeah. Hearing a lot through our network about people coming into the country, particularly on the property management sort of rental side, and when our property managers are dealing with sort of new migrants, quite often they're in that social work or healthcare sector. So you got to think that they're getting some pretty decent jobs in a tight market. So something to watch in terms of that demand into the rental sector, right?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And so Sam, we've got our weekly sales snapshot, right? Mate, where are we going to this week?
Yeah, so I've got a sample of recent auction sales from the South Island.
Yep.
So first up, I've got 13 Friesian clothes in Hanley's farm, Jack's Point in Queenstown. This is an idyllic home in Hanley's new developed area. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on 325 square metres. With picturesque views of the Remarkables and surrounding ranges. This was marketed by Jimmy Allen and Phoebe Swale from Bayleys Frankton, and it sold under the Hanmer for 1.33 mil.
Yeah, it's a cool one. And then for me, I've got 64 Wesney Terrace in Kingston, Queenstown Lakes. Lakeview Paradise awaits you. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom on just under 1,200 square metres, located on the edge of Lake Wakatipu, marketed by Beata and Jessica from Bayleys Frankton. This one sold under the Hanmer for 1.088 million.
And last up, I've got 10 Devon Street in Gore, close to town with plenty of space. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on about 1,000 square metres. The location is very close to town for convenience. This property was marketed by Julie Mitchell from Bayleys Gore and sold under the Hanmer for $745,000.
So Sam, which one of these ones would you go for this week?
Oh, I really love that 64 Wesney Terrace. Just the views of the lake, everything looked like a dream.
Yeah, cool. And that one probably looks like a good sort of capital gains prospect there with Kingston, maybe a little bit behind on growth on some of those other suburbs. So yeah, looks cool. Next up, going offshore, right? So global partner Knight Frank, they've got their prime global rental index. What have they got in their latest release for this?
Yeah, so this tracks the performance of luxury residential rentals across a couple of the key cities. So we saw that growth was starting to slow with the annual rate easing to 5.2% over the last 12 months.
Yep.
And about half of the markets tracked, we're seeing rents falling on a quarterly basis. Yeah, I guess in the Auckland prime rental market, we saw rents grow just marginally, like 0.7% in the last quarter and 2.8% in the last half year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, what is your take on that?
That one's interesting, right? Because we're obviously helping them out on the Auckland data. And I think one of the things that came through our numbers, right, Sam, was the high-end rental market seems to be a lot slower for rental growth than the low end of the rental market, particularly in Auckland.
Yeah.
And I think we sort of had the view that maybe the migration pattern is starting to cause that.
Yeah, and we see them kind of going into the lower end of the market, and the higher prime properties are less affected by migration. So
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if like the New Zealand citizens that are shooting offshore, whether they're leaving a hole in that top end of the market on the rental side, and then the migrants are filling the lower end. So yeah, could be something to look at. And so property of the week, Sam, what have you got this week?
So I've got 869 Hanmer Spring Roads in Hurunui, Canterbury. This is a luxury lodge with tourism business on about 9,000 square metres with extensive further development potential. There's private access to the Waiau River and generous parking areas. If you're interested, get in contact with Harley from Bayleys Hanmer Springs.
Yeah, nice. That's a cool one. Mate, I've got lot 580 and 581 in Ara Hills in Orewa and Auckland. So developer call shape the heart of the Ara Hills. 2 prime mixed-use sites totaling approximately 6,600 square metres. It's a rapidly growing area in North Auckland. These sites have neighbourhood centre and fab zoning. If you want to learn more about these ones, contact Alex Perigo or Ben Clare from Bayleys Silverdale. With that said, we'll wrap it up here. So thanks very much, Sam.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, sweet. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.